Okay, welcome back. This is the third part of my piercing Fortress Europa Sicily scenario. We're on turn 11. Things are looking pretty dire at the moment. My troops, my British troops around Gala are trapped in a battle with the Hermann Goering Panzer Division on the mountains. My US troops with Canadian support are split, pushing towards central Sicily near Enna, and from the port of Catania we've got US troops pushing down the road towards Messina for a victory. If we look at the victory points available at the minute, we've currently got the port of Syracuse controlled, and we need to control Palermo and Messina by the end of the game. At the moment we only control one of the three ports needed, so we're going to have to push down here to take Messina, and we're going to have to make a run for it up to Palermo. I'll expect there'll be resistance up near Palermo. So I've become bogged down a bit. There's not much movement. If we look at the supply situation visually, we're sort of getting supplies through to our troops, but checking the supply and fuel status, you can see supply last turn was only 4 units, consuming 4 units, and only 5 units entered the theatre, so we've got a very low supply, which isn't good. It means that these units with the red triangle at the bottom, they are low on combat supplies. There's a lot of them about. They've been using up their supplies, and I've got to try and get the limited supply I've got in my hands to them, to boost their combat effectiveness. So that's the situation at turn 11. What I'd like to do is either knock out the Hermann Goering division and push on. Let's get moving is the order of the day. But I've got paratroopers and an infantry division here. They're both out of combat supply, so I'll put combat supply in there. These paratroopers are out, but I can't. I think I'm done with combat supply now. I've used up all my points available, which is a shame. I wonder if I can move. I wonder if I can move my troops. Can I? No, there. See, once you're engaged, it's very difficult to disengage and continue movement. And that's one of the good things about this game, is that there's no. You've got to think about every attack. You've got to think about when you engage and whether it was the right decision or not, because there's no engage, attack, move out of the way, get round them, and push on. Once you commit, that's it. You're in there until you can either defeat them or try a withdrawal. But I think I shall just soldier on. The Hermann Goering division, I didn't really know much about it to begin with, and it seems they're quite a heavy-duty panzer division with tanks and all sorts of armoured troops. They are linked to the Luftwaffe, so they're sort of an airborne support division, I think. Anyway, let's commit the attack. Less of this chit chat. Let's get on with it. We're going to give them a slap in and just see how it goes, I guess. We'll top up replacements where we can. Make the attack as best we can. Who else can we commit? Okay, that's it. We've got to try now. These guys are engaged. The US infantry and paratroopers and the Canadian armour. Now, I want the armour to really go heavy on the motorised infantry units there, so I'm going to engage with the Canadian armour, and I'm going to support that engagement with these infantry troops, the US 45th. So let's get them in. Now the paratroopers, they're very low supply, and their combat effectiveness won't be brilliant. I'm going to put them in anyway. I need to clear the roads to get some units through, so I'm going to do the business. Right, now let's move these guys up. Oh, maybe I should have moved to Messina then, if I could get in. I'm not sure. I might have made a wrong turn there, but let's... Oh, we're in. Fantastic. See, I normally, my cautious approach is to approach the port and then see what's in there, but basically we've just walked into Messina. No doubt when the simultaneous turn resolves, there'll be resistance in there, but hopefully we can fend them off. We're medium supply. Admittedly, I've put the worst troop quality unit in there. Let's get the armour up to support. Their combat effectiveness is not good neither, but we'll support. Right. Now, this unit, I'm going to try and get them, this Canadian infantry, into Catania. There you go. And next turn we'll supply them if we can, and then push them. Okie dokie. Let's run the turn. Here we go. Oh, nice. So the attack on the Hermann Goering division has been successful. The British 4th and 78th went in. Admittedly, we took the same sort of losses, but the attack was successful. And our Canadian armour, supported by both the US units. That was a good one. Oh, that's what I like to see. No losses. 5 losses for the German 15th. Nice. So we've managed to dislodge the Hermann Goering Panzer Division. The 15th Panzer Grenadiers has been eliminated. So we've pushed them out the mountains. Hopefully that'll free us up to do a bit of movement, especially around them. Our paratroopers obviously are totally out of supply now. They are in a desperate situation. We need to get supply to them. Their combat effectiveness is 0. We've kicked these Italians. No, we haven't kicked them out. They've come to join the fight, I think. Who? Right, okay. So there's me thinking we were in Messina, but no, we've got a lot of Axis troops in there. We've got motorised infantry and Italian and Well, that looks like it's airborne, Axis airborne infantry. Okay, so there's quite a lot going on in Messina. Right, let's do the supply run. Let's check the supply. Yeah, let's check. Yeah, we're still really bad there. So I'm still doing something fundamentally wrong here, I think. Let's drop fuel priority. So combat supply priority is now 90%. Let's check the work ports. We've got supply capacity in Catania 60. Well, they're all getting supply as far as I can tell. I'm just not really sure why we're only pulling in a level of 5 supply every turn. Yeah. Okay. No matter. Right. I'm going to supply the US 82nd Airborne. I've got to. Now, does that... How much has that taken? Let's see. Okay. And I've replacements. So I've got no more supply left for these guys. So that's it. I'm basically... Okay. No supply left. Oh, I think I've cornered myself in the supply mechanism. I've not really managed that very well. Still, we'll soldier on. Let's move these guys up. Now, can we get past this? Yes, we can. We can supply the armored division, and we can supply these guys. Okay. Now I want to move the Brits up. I wanted to push through the middle here. I didn't really want to go through the mountains. Oh. I see that they're defending Enna. Okay. Get the Brits. We push them up. Wonder if there's a surround bonus. Maybe. Move the armored unit up. These paras, I want to move them as far forward as I can. And this infantry unit I'm going to stack here. And they have been supplied. These guys need supply. I'm going to leave them in the port there. I think I'll use these guys rather than push them up the middle. I'll use these guys to go and support the Americans towards Messina. Not really sure whether there's a detrimental effect for splitting units of particular designation, or whether they can be split this way. Well, I'm going to try it anyway. Okay. Okay, what have we got here? So these guys So they're out of supply. This armoured unit is, well, not totally out. They're almost out. So I'm going to move them up, and I think I'm going to make an attack with the US 3rd, and we're going to push this Italian unit away, and then surround Messina, and hopefully within time I'll be able to supply them up a little bit and push on to Messina to try and take it. So I'm going to make that attack there. That's probably going to be the only attack I make this turn. Let's run the turn. Oh, you see, that's interesting. So the actual Axis are pushing out of Messina down that road. I think they're trying to push us back rather than fight it in Messina. So the US 3rd have gone in, the Italian 206th. We've given them a good spanking. And okay. So this is the German 1st and 29th attacking the US 1st. Their attack has failed. They lost quite a lot of men. They've become quite disrupted. The US have lost one unit, and they've also been slightly disrupted. So the Axis have moved back into Messina. Here we go. The Brits are advancing and trying to swarm around the Hermann Goering unit. The 206th have been eliminated. That's what we like to hear. Okay. Right. Now I'm getting giddy now because I've got 3 British units that are on the road towards Palermo, and it's turn 13. I have 3 more turns to get these guys up here and settled into Palermo. What have I got? 51st Infantry, the 231st, and 51st, the 5th, and 231st. Right, they're in good supply. But I'm going to move them. Okay. Obviously, I guess fortifications must affect the movement points. I can't blaze right to the top, but we'll move up the road as much as we possibly can. Get them all up there. Right. They are infantry. They're plodding across the island as best they can. Really, I need to get armour up there fast. But I'm afraid the armour's all caught around the town of Etta. I don't know if it's a town. And this annoying Hermann Goering Panzer Division have been the bane of my attack. Right. Okay, let's think about supply. As you can see, the supply from Gala and Syracuse and Catania has sort of linked up. We've got an overall spread of supply. That's good news. Although, oh well, we're getting a bit more supply in, so that's, I could do with a lot more though. These guys over attacking Messina, I think they're all in a pretty dire situation, and they all need supply desperately. So I'm going to pump supply into the our armoured division. I'm going to pump supply into our infantry. These are slightly better troops than these, based on this troop quality. I'm going to pump supply into this infantry unit. Once you've pumped supply into them, you can't do another action on that unit till next turn. but I basically get them up to a decent supply and then get them in. I really should pump these again, but turns are getting a bit tight, so I'm going to push them in regardless. If I can't supply this one, it's a shame. I'm out of supply now. Yeah, current level, it's all over. Okay. Maybe I should have tweaked that earlier. You do your best. Okay, so these guys are a bit low. I'm going to make the attack though. I've got to. What we got here? Armoured, British 4th, 78th. If I use the attack stack, it basically attacks that unit with everything in this stack, I think. We attack the stack. We've got the British Paras and the 50th Infantry. I'm going to attack the stack. Now you watch. There's going to be some stack limit on the attack, I would imagine. I want these Canadian armour to go in, but I may have made an error there. I really wanted them in. Still, how far can they move? You know what? I'm tempted to just race them up. Let's do it. I need people in Palermo. I don't care. We'll deal with this Hermann Goering lot later. Okay. Have I done everything? Okay. These guys, the Paras. Oh, they've got quite a. Oh, misclick. Okay. Well, they're blocking the this northern road into Messina. Let's push them up. Push them up. I'll leave the Brits to deal with the Hermann Goering and get these US guys up. I mean, they really do need supply dropping in. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Now this unit didn't attack, but I'm taking that's and you're only allowed a certain number of units attacking, so they'll be okay. They can go in the next round and I'll supply someone. Let's take the turn. Okie dokie. Now, Hermann Goering, we're coming for you. The 1st, the 4th, and the 78th attack. They've given them a good spanking with no losses, some disruption. That's what I like to see. Once again, the Germans and the Italians are having a go at the US troops stationed outside of Messina. They've taken a lot of losses. Fantastic. We'll thin them out and then we'll be able to drop into Messina and take it. Here we go, moving up. Right, Hermann Goering Panzer Division has been forced to surrender. The Italian 54th has been eliminated, and Enna has fallen to the Allies. Woohoo! Excellent. Excellent. Well, them pesky Hermann Goering division. They're gone. Okay, let just the victory. I just want to check casualties. So we're inflicting a fair amount of casualties on them, and that's good. Good news all round there. Supply is looking pretty sweet. What about now? Look, we're still Supply last turn. Supply that's entered the theatre is 6. I wonder, there must be something controlling this figure, and I just don't know what it is. So, my advice to all you new players is have a crack, see how it plays, but then read the manual. I have dabbled in some of the manual. I mean, it's only a 50-page manual, and you should just read it all the way through. But I like to get in, have a feel, sort of have an organic feel about, see how it plays, and then I sort of get interested enough to start delving into the material in the manual afterwards. I know that's the wrong way around. That's the way I like to do things. I like to feel things first and then dig in. Obviously, I didn't dig far enough. I need to get my head around the resource model a bit better. So, let's make the move. I'm too excited to worry about combat supply at the minute. I want to move these guys up. Now, do I go for Palermo straight off and have the battle? Because these troops are not bad. And they can make it. So I've pushed the dear Lord. I pushed the British infantry into Palermo. I want to station armour this Canadian armour outside the city, and then the US troops. I really need to supply them, but I'm saving the supply for these guys in Messina. So I'm going to move them up in the state that they're in to support this British attack on Palermo. And again, the US paras. I want to support the attack on Palermo. Maybe I'll station them at the top. I don't know, I have this thing, I just like surrounding people with units when I'm making an attack. That could backfire on me. We'll see. All of these guys, the Brits that were involved in the attack against Hermann Goering, are all in poor supply situation. Apart from this infantry, the British 50th. Now, what do we do with them? What can we do with them? You know, oh, I've done it again. Misclicked. I get all excited. What I think, well, I was obviously toying with pushing them over to Messina to help out the US. And in my excitement, I've misclicked and placed them in the mountains. So that's not good. I'll get the paras and I'll move them up. They're in, yeah, I'll move them up anyway. And these guys, I'll move up in support. If I have supply next two turns, then I'll use it. These guys, I'll move up here. Basically splitting all my forces and spreading them around in a rather wild fashion. But now I want to concentrate on getting these guys supplied. So the US first gets combat supply. Yeah, they're actually engaged. The US second. I could put some replacements in. I can't. Paras can't. So I can't boost. US first, give them replacements. Okay. So it looks like turn 15 is going to be when I make an attack, and these guys are all a bit shaky on supply. Well, we'll have to give it a go. My supply situation's really sort of let me down. I can, however, supply these Canadians. Can't supply anyone else. What about these guys? No, I've already ordered them. Okay. Right, let's do it. Supply the Canadians while we can. Take the turn. Excuse. The Germans are having another crack at the US first and second, and again we've given them a good dose of the salts with a 1 loss on our part. Here we go, forces all split. British and the US contingent moving northwards to Palermo. Moving into Palermo. If there are no Axis troops in Palermo, I've over-egged the pudding there. Right, the first Fallschirmjäger has been eliminated. Good. Palermo has fallen to the Allies. Nice. Right, so I'm feeling like I've been tricked there. I've diverted a lot of troops off. And really, I could have done with a couple of them down in Messina. Anyway, you live and you learn. Supply situation is not bad. We cover most of the island now. Up here in the northern reaches, obviously, we haven't got a decent supply line yet. We've taken Palermo. Yeah. Okay, show me. What have we got to play with? Not much at all. Right. This is why I don't get on very well with grand strategy games. What can I push? My armour is the US second is totally out of supply. I need supply to them. So that's 4 points of supply and 8 fuel, I think. No, that means I can't make the attack. Turn 15 and I can't make the attack. Do I supply them all and then make the attack on the final turn? Is it going to be like that? Or do I just push in and hope for the best? I'll tell you what, let's push in and hope for the best, because someone has to. These guys, come on, you can do it. You can do this. The US, go on, get in there, lad. In you go. Paratroopers and the infantry. Now, what about this guy? Can you get in? No. This guy? Let's do it. I call them guys now. You can see the level of excitement at getting towards the end and hopefully taking Messina. Right, back to being good. I've moved the British 50th up outside of Palermo, Messina. So if they try and attack out, they're going to hit my troops either way. If these guys in the stack attacking, they'll come out to the periphery, and I'll still have an extra turn to make the final push to try and take it. We've got Palermo. If I wanted to, I could attempt to move some guys back. I mean, that's a long run for infantry, but they'd be on the road, so. I've got 2 armoured. Get them back. Canadian armour. Get them back. So that feels a bit like I'm cheesing the system, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's have a crack, shall we? Ooh, baby. Right, so the US first went in on its own and attacked the German 29th. Obviously it was a bit of a... they're fortified, bit of carnage. Oh no, are they all going to go in on their own? Okay, maybe they're not. Oh god. Right. This is it. Last turn. Let's see the victory conditions. So we've got 56 victory points. We've got Messina to take. What we got surrounding Messina? US 3rd, the British 78th, and the British Paras. They're all on a desperate combat supply situation. However, I mean, they are the US first are effectively out of action unless I supply them. If I supply them, then they can't move, so they can't make the attack anyway. Right, I'm going to have to attack with the armour and attack with this whole stack. And these guys didn't join in the attack for some reason. Okay, so it could all be over. And let's move this stack up. Can we move there? Okay, I don't know what's happened now. It seems to have gone a bit weird. Okay, right click gets it back. Maybe I can't move them that far up. Move. I'll move what I can up. There's probably no reason to, but cancel that movement. It seems to be playing up a bit. This, I don't know what's going on. Move. Palermo's ours. This is really it. I think we're about done. There's no point supplying if we, I mean, we can supply them, but they can't do anything once we supply them, so may as well just make the attack and see what happens. Going in hard, the attack failed. German first, German. The British first, 78th, and the US second against the German 29th with fortifications. We went in. Well, we didn't lose anything. We kicked some ass and disrupted them, but the attack failed. So we haven't dislodged them. Ah. Oh, the German 29th Panzer Grenadiers has been forced to surrender. Messina has fallen to the Allies. Woohoo! Well, that was unexpected because they said the attack failed. I thought we didn't manage to push them out, but we have. And the Allies have won by a decisive victory. Oh, maybe we didn't get any points because we didn't have units in because of the failed attack. So they charged Messina. They give the Germans a good spanking, but they were repelled, and then the Germans were forced to surrender. So a very odd ending to an interesting game. I mean, at first looks, the game is it comes across as very basic, and it's not got all the flashy business going on, but really, there's a lot of intricacies involved. It's quite, I mean, you'll notice I have the Allied advantage there. I switched that on because I wanted it to be a nice, playthrough where you'd see some action and it wouldn't just turn into a massive grueling stalemate, or or me get beaten down by the AI, which can happen. So I think the game has a lot to offer for war gamers. Obviously, if you delve deep into all the terrain tables, combat resolution tables, and all the inner workings of the game, you can thoroughly appreciate how to make the best attacks, how to move around the best, how to manage the resources, which I think is crucial for your combat supply situation. And obviously, I did a pretty poor job of it on this run. But overall, I've enjoyed it. I've played this scenario twice. This has been the second one. I have managed to win both times. This one was more troublesome to me than my first run through, mainly because of the Hermann Goering division in the mountains. So, watch for armoured divisions in mountains near roads would be my advice. And that's it, really. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I haven't bored you too much. I hope I've given you a glimpse at how the game can be played, and hopefully you'll be able to play it a lot better. One thing I should mention was my initial playthrough. I didn't really know the placements of the units historically. So obviously I had the British running up the left and the Americans running up the right. And in reality, historically, the Americans took Gala and moved up through this area on the west, and the British moved into Syracuse and up on the east. So I've swapped them round. But it was fun, and in the end, there was a lot of troops mixing with each other, and just to complete objectives, I had US, British, and Canadians all rolling down the same roads, which is the way it should be. Thank you very much. I hope to do more of these. I've thoroughly enjoyed them. I wasn't sure I'd be able to pull them off, but I'm getting a bit more confident with it all. And I'll see you later.